What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB edition. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Just another home run, just plus 800 on PointsBet. No big deal. Josh Lowe, yes, Brandon Lau, Josh Lowe. Somebody helped me out with that in the comment section below. I appreciate you, but yes, Josh Lowe goes yard, makes me happy, makes you money, makes us both money. Happy times are here again, except for then the K ladder of Beebe just hit an absolute wall. Could not have pitched worse against the Detroit Tigers. They are not a good offense, and he looked abysmal. So you got to wear that one. Maybe we just hit the brakes on K ladders. Not necessarily my thing. They show up every so often, usually Kadai Senga, and then they burn into the fiery pits of Mordor, stuff like that. So we're going to try to get away from that, but we're going to try to get you guys over to Bet365, and here's why. You're getting $200 in bonus bets when you deposit $10 or more. Put $1 on anything and you get $200. Now, it's only available in 4 states, New Jersey, Virginia, Ohio, and Colorado. But if you're in one of those 4 states, you'd be insane not to take advantage of Bet365. For example, Josh Lowe, he was plus 800. That was the best number I could find. He was plus 950 on Bet365. I missed out on $150 because Josh Lowe hits a homer. It is absurd, some of these home run numbers that you're able to get at Bet365. If you look at the Odd Chopper board, they're littered with best available numbers being Bet365. So that means if you want the best price every single time when it comes to home run props, well, first of all, use Odd Chopper to help you find out what that book is. But it seems like almost always it's Bet365 here of late. They want you to try out their book. So you know what? Punish them a little bit. Let's get some money involved and let's get us some W's over at Bet365, but only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And again, just Colorado, Ohio, Virginia, and New Jersey. Alrighty, y'all, we've got 15 games. No time to dilly-dally. Talked about that a little bit. I'll talk about it a little bit later because I have to. That's kind of what we do here. But check out the comment section below for all of the goods so that I don't have to bring that up again here throughout this video. Hit that like button, and now let's get to the picks. And we get our day rolling with Detroit and Cleveland, right where we picked up the first game of the day on Monday. Wasn't pretty, that's for sure. We don't have to worry about this BB fella, but we have to worry about kind of a stud, Shane Bieber. Hasn't been as good for him in the old StatCast department this season, but he's going up against Michael Lorenzen, another, well, guy who's actually giving up less expected batting average than him, but more power traditionally his entire career. A 461 expected slugging this year, 17.6% K rate. He used to be an outfielder for Cincinnati once upon a time, was not good with the Angels as a pitcher last year, and therefore, well, if you wanted to target anything here, I would want to be going to the Cleveland side, but my God, what inflated numbers we have before us here to account for how bad Lorenzen is. And Shane Bieber, despite the 48.6% hard hit percentage and just 16.6% K rate, zoinkscoo. Pretty wild to see the K rate fall off a cliff. We're talking 41.1% elite Cy Young stuff in 2020, down to 33.1, which was still elite, down to 25% last year, now just 16.6%. This has got to be a get-right spot, and if you can't be racking up Ks going up against this Detroit team, which is hilarious to say after we watched Tanner Beebe get completely blasted with a shotgun, just saying, it's not going to be looking good here with Mr. Shane Bieber if he's not able to get Ks here in this spot. So it's a weak offense. I'm just going to lean the -1.5 here, going and laying it there, but I don't want to be laying -102 on a guy that I just don't know what's going on right now with him here. Cleveland, not the best offense behind him here, although you get the opportunity to face Michael Lorenzen. That's a plus. Just don't really find anything all that appealing here. Definitely not running K-props back. That's for damn sure, but enjoy it if you want it. -1.5, not going to be on my card tomorrow. Let's talk the man, the myth, the legend, Tampa Bay, and Josh Lowe. Yeah, my dude. He's coming back. He faces another righty here. Going in Baltimore for round 2. Oh, it was just so much fun watching that ball leave the yard. Lefties in Baltimore still going to be all right, but you've got on the mound here Zach Eflin, who's just massively improved in Tampa, as most pitchers do. Going up against Grayson Rodriguez, who I do like the stuff of, and God, he's got a 29.8% K rate. Not hard to see the fastball changeup matchup and see that there's pretty good opportunity for him to still get some Ks against Tampa Bay, as good as what they are. And again, they are league leaders against right-handed pitching, 139 WRC plus, a 240 ISO, both of those marks, the best in baseball by quite a ways. They're still going to come with their own fair share of Ks. Now, the 22.9% K rate doesn't really tell you the story, because you have enough lefties here who will strike out at a decent enough clip that I think he'll find some success in the K department here. You've got, just Luke Raley. I mean, that's the first guy right off the bat. 35.8%. He's almost always in there going up against lefties. Brandon Lau, 31% K rate. Christian Bethancourt, their main catcher, 28.7%. Josh Lowe, my dude, sitting there at 22.7%. So some decent Ks to go with the Yandy Diaz's, Wander Franco's, Manuel Margot's, if he ends up being in the lineup against a righty that we've kind of come accustomed to never, ever, ever striking out. But I'm just thinking we're going back to the well. It felt too good. And it's just kind of the exact same spot, because Grayson Rodriguez, a 48% hard hit percentage, 270 expected batting average. When the ball gets put in play, 11.8 degree launch angle, almost optimal, sitting in that 12, 13 degree launch angle rate. Like, that's kind of what we're looking for there. And if he's going to be making contact, I have a feeling he's going to be taking it for a ride. I talked about it before. I think we just run it back. Felt so good. Can we go for two? Can we go for two? Now, you might get a lower number here to account for, well, yeah, it is what it is. It's not Kyle Gibson or anything. That was ridiculous. He's better than that, but still, I think we're going to get a decent number. It was way north of the projected number for me, and that made it an auto play. Let's run it back. Can he do it? You've said it like 3 times. I don't care. Josh Lowe. Brandon Lau. See, I did it. 100% success rate on the Low-Lau combination. We're going to the Josh version. Fire it up with a lean. Again, want to always see the numbers. Don't want to give you a play without seeing the number, but pretty positive this one's on the card again. We go to Colorado and Pittsburgh. Not Seabiscuit, but Seabold. It could be so bold as to see Connor Seabold on the mound again here for the Colorado Rockies, going up against a newbie, Luis Ortiz. And I did some digging on Luis Ortiz in order to give you a little bit of a heads up of what we've got. First of all, well, you're seeing nearly minus 160 across the entire board for Pittsburgh. That should indicate you that he does not suck, and this Pittsburgh lineup is much improved. But the 24-year-old, he's looking pretty good. He had a couple of stints in the majors last season, looked all right there, but just 24 years of age, 2.23 ERA, 0.96 whip, with quite a few strikeouts there at AAA so far. 32 and a third innings, 29 Ks. That is a good rate. We like that. 11 walks. It's okay. We'll see how it transitions at the big league level. Sorry, my nose itch. But Luis Ortiz, I think he's a really good pitcher. But the problem for me is somebody walking into their first start of the season and the price just being inflated to account for, well, the assumed goodness that is him. And Connor Seabold on the other end, he is at least limiting hard contact with a 36.9% hard hit percentage, just a 16.5% K rate though. And I said it before, I'll say it again. Jack Sawinski, Brian Reynolds, Brian Hayes, they are just murdering baseballs. Connor Joe, if he ends up in that lineup. Rodolfo Castro did go yard today. Wild to give him a special shout out on this program. And then he just obliterates a baseball there in Pittsburgh. But I don't think we can be firing it up at this number. Minus 160 best available. That's tough to stomach here. Or minus 155, something in that range. Still don't want to be firing it up, but I'm going to lean that Pittsburgh money line side. Colorado, they're so bad against righties that I think it should be a good debut for Luis Ortiz, but at the price, I think we're better off going better spots. Going to Great American Small Park up next for one pitcher who used to be good, Luke Weaver, and one pitcher who's always been good until apparently this year, Max Scherzer. What is going on, Mad Max, my dude? 503 expected slugging, 20.8% K rate. That's way down, and I get it. He's just getting his bearings here again after being out and coming back, but I have major concerns. For one, the fastball's down a full mile per hour, actually 0.9 to be exact, but I digress. Two, you're looking at a spin rate that, despite the fact that it's being up there, we're just seeing him miss the zone with some more pitches and a 10.4% walk rate. That is unlike anything we've ever seen from Max Scherzer. In fact, the highest walk rate he's had for his career to this point is 7.8. And the highest he's had over the course of the last 2 years before this year, 5.2%. Last year, 4.2% walk rate. We're looking at double digits here now. That is a major, major concern and something he's got to shore up because he's always had fly ball capabilities. solo shots here and there. But now the strikeouts are down, walks are up. Just going to be paying attention. He is not exactly young, 38 years of age. Him and Verlander, not a great stint there. Their first times out there in Detroit. We'll see if they can put some improvement together, but I don't know. Feels weird. And against Cincinnati, they have a lot of righties, and he has notoriously shut down righties throughout his entire career. They are just an 86 WRC plus on the air with a 24.1% K rate, so maybe it's a get-right spot. But it's not a get-right spot for runs when you have Luke Weaver on the other side, with a nearly 60% hard hit percentage, a 528 expected slugging, and a 15.2-degree average launch angle in a ballpark that is made for tiny, tiny kids. We're talking little leaguers. We're talking 11-year-olds that could probably have enough pop to hit it out of Great American Small Park. And yes, that is hyperbole. I'm joking a little bit. It's just the smallest dimensions, the most home runs you're going to see all season long. So when you have a dude giving up 60% hard hit, and then you have a lineup like the Mets, who, they've been struggling, but they have Pete Alonso, Brett Beatty, who can really murder baseballs. Brandon Nimmo's had a great start to the season in terms of StatCast portfolio. Not feeling good for Luke Weaver, so I think overall, I like runs to be scored here. Max Scherzer, maybe he proves it to us, but I still think there's backdoor equity in the Mets putting up 7 or 8, Cincinnati backdooring a couple in a small ballpark, and we walk away with the W. I have this nearly 10 runs. It is at 9, therefore, it falls into the light category for us here in Great American Small Park. Well, we came off our first play. Let's go back to the lean with it. Only lean with it, not rock with it. We got Toronto. We've got Philadelphia. And if this were last year, we would be looking at two of the better pitchers in all of baseball matching up. Alek Manoah going up against Aaron Nola. But as such, Alek Manoah is really bad at the moment. I don't quite understand it. Kind of an issue throughout the entire Toronto starting lineup. You can't even make the excuse that they play the AL East all this much anymore because of the changes to the schedule, but a 389 xWOBA? A 389 xWOBA. That's not good. That's a lot of walks. And then no strikeouts, 18.1% in that department with some hard hit, a 501 expected slugging. Nothing really good at all from Alek Manoah. They need him to figure it out. He's only 25 years of age. It's built like a unit, but I'm just saying, if he's not playing fullback in the NFL, if you want to be a pitcher, you got to start hitting the zone, my dude, with a 12.3% walk rate. Not good stuff. Not good stuff. But he could probably play an offensive lineman somewhere. Aaron Nola, he's a pitcher. He's just a bona fide pitcher. 33.3% hard hit percentage, 299 xWOBA. Good across the board. But here's the thing. You get to face Toronto, and you get to get plus money. We're talking north of plus 110 to back them on the money line right now. I think that's where you have to lean. And there's nothing all that appealing about targeting Aaron Nola overall based on his last couple of years. But this year, similar to Scherzer, ERA's up 4.64, and the strikeouts are down nearly 10%. I don't know what's going on with these strikeout rates for some of these elite guys. It's not affecting Spencer Strider, I'll tell you that much. But 19.2% for the 30-year-old here on the season is not great. I expect positive regression. I talked about that before. He's starting to look better, limiting some of the hard contact that had plagued him early on. Got tagged for 4 runs against the Dodgers. There's no shame in that. It's better against Houston, Colorado. I don't know. Feels like a spot where if you had to do anything, Toronto moneyline feels like the right play. But maybe some lefty props. Maybe we can get some Schwarber or Harper involved into the card tomorrow against Manoah, who's just been abysmal. But it's just a tough spot overall. Not a play from a game for me. I got to play from this one, though. When you get 2 bad pitchers on the mound, it can be fun. And I still don't know what to make of Oakland's offensive resurgence. Nestor Cortez is looking great against them here. But Drew Rosinski is awful. He's going to face Clark Schmidt, who is supposed to be good. Clarky. National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, anybody? Clark Griswold? No? Okay, good talk. Glad we had it. Clark Schmidt was supposed to be that dude for the Yankees. He has so far been the opposite of that dude. He's been a dude. And I don't really know if that's going to be changing and going up against Oakland so far this season. He's got crazy hard hit across the board. 297 expected batting average, 51.6% hard hit percentage, power to both lefties and righties. That's not good. The K rate started to go up, 25.7%. It's just a 6.4% walk rate. He's not hurting himself with anything other than his ineffectiveness when the ball gets put into play. And you have Ryan Noda, you have Brent Rooker for sure, who's just been out of his mind. JJ Bleday should join the party. Bleday, mate. Another bad joke. I don't even like myself at the moment. Drew Rosinski, though, he doesn't like himself either, with a 331 expected batting average, 393 xWOBA, but he probably enjoys himself. He's a Major League Baseball pitcher, but just an 8.5% K rate through 2 starts this season and tons of walks. He is probably the worst pitcher on the entire board. Yeah, probably the worst pitcher on the entire board going tomorrow. So there you go. Take that for what you will. Doesn't look good. Didn't look good at AAA Vegas. I don't know what to tell you. This is a ridiculous spot. Over 9, pretty easy play for me. Almost put a lock attached to it. I do have 2 coming up a little bit later. I think this is just on the fringe of, you could make it 2.5 locks. This could be a like lock if you wanted to call it as such. It's my third favorite play that exists on the board. I don't know. Josh Lowe's kind of made his way into my heart, but over 9, I really, really like it for Tuesday. Let's talk more baseballs leaving yards, shall we? Pretty fun spot here. Nick Pivetta going up against Charlie Morton. We'll start with the Morton side. He's not as good as he used to be, but he's still going to be an effective pitcher here for Atlanta, and he's got one of the best defensive units around him. That always helps any pitcher. Just a 20.8% K rate's a little concerning for him, but 37.1% hard hit percentage. You see pitchers have to develop other ways of getting by guys once some of that heat really dries off. Charlie Morton, 39 years of age. It shouldn't shock anybody that he goes from 28.2% K rate to 20.8. I mean, shit, we just talked about it with Nola, with Scherzer. Eventually, it just gets difficult, but 5.26 expected ERA compared to his 3.38 ERA. Negative regression could be in store for him, so I'm not going out of my way to back him with a number of lefties that we like in that Boston lineup. You get Devers, Yoshida, Verdugo, Duran, great band, Tristan Casas, good stuff all the way around from the left side that you don't really want to be effing with too much there from the Boston Red Sox. But Nick Pivetta, we want to mess with him. 51.8% hard hit percentage and a 540 expected slugging. One of my favorite things about him, he can be a guy with some upside from a strikeout perspective, but when the ball gets put in play, it gets rocked. It's always been that way, and it's been power to both sides of the plate. And as such, I do like Matt Olson, but I expect that number to be a lot worse for us. Give me Sean Murphy. We're talking about a dude who is out of control at the plate right now. And I don't know if I've brought him up once on this program, mainly because he just keeps doing insane things. He came from Oakland last season. Oakland always gives up on, maybe they'll trade Brent Rooker, because that seems like something they would do at this point in time. Should have sold high on Roman Laureano or other things. They just make no sense with some of their moves, because they probably wanted to get to Vegas, but that's a different story for a different day. Sean Murphy, a 700 expected slugging, a 483 xWOBA, 48.6% hard hit percentage. I like this one more than Josh Lowe. You should like this one more than Josh Lowe, mainly because he's a better home run hitter than Josh Lowe. He was in Oakland, which was a difficult ballpark to hit it out of, and now he's sitting there with a 1.048 OPS and 9 homers already on the year. So Nick Pivetta, best of luck to you against the power of Acuna. You get Michael Harris back in the fray here. You get Austin Riley. You get Albies. You get Olson. And of course, our dude, Sean Murphy, to go yard here. Got to be better than plus 275. But if it is on the card for Tuesday. Attention, Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. This offer is only for you. Everybody else can just, I don't know, take a nap here for the next minute. Something, I don't know. Actually, check out that video description box below. The Discord. You have so many great offerings going right down below there in the video description box below, with the help of producer Jacob, of course. But you got Bet365 in those 4 lovely states: Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. And this is all you do. You go down there to the link, you click where it says Bet365, you deposit $10 or more. It takes you all of about a minute or two. And when you bet $1 on anything, soda's more expensive than $1 now. Inflation, it's a wild thing. But this is just $1 to get $200 in bonus bets. And I repeat, the home run props at Bet365 have had some of the best numbers in the entire industry. It's basically been FanDuel and Bet365 that have constantly been there. A couple of points bets here and there, like today with Josh Love. But either way, Bet365, that is the spot you want to be signed up. They're literally putting money into your pocket to try out their product. So go take advantage of it. Bet $1, get $200 in bonus bets now if you're in one of those 4 lovely states, coming to other states shortly. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. We're heading to Kansas City, to Kauffman Stadium. We go. White Sox, Lucas Giolito. We're starting to show out a little bit here for the White Sox. Good stuff for them. Going up against Jordan Lyles, who I think we target more than most. More than most, because he's not better than most. He's literally the opposite. A 542 expected slugging, just a 16.8% K rate. Nothing good. Nothing bad. Just horrendous. He's horrendous, so there you go. Lucas Giolito, though. Wow. Great improvement. Glad to see a bounce back season for him, as long as he doesn't do it against my Twins. White Sox really behind the 8 ball. It would be wild if they somehow came out of the AL Central at this point. But a 33.3% hard hit percentage. Yay. 292 xWOBA. Woo. A 23.6% K rate. It's about what we're looking for in a 5.2% walk rate. Just saying. Coming off of last year, 4.90 ERA. Nice to see that expected ERA down there to 3.50. Actual ERA, 3.67. Fastball starting to tick up. Up 0.2 miles per hour. It was up nearly half a mile per hour in his last outing. Would like to see more swing and miss with the fastball, changeup. The slider really the only one inducing anything there. 35.4% whip percentage. But for the most part, you can't be mad at Lucas Giolito starting to induce some of those ground balls. Really good stuff. A 33.3% ground ball rate. That is the best mark of his career so far. So props to Lucas Giolito for figuring it out. And we pretty much figured it out pretty instantly here. Why would we not bet the White Sox here? Minus 142 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Best number by at least 3 cents, pretty much everywhere. DraftKings next best at minus 145. This is kind of a no-brainer add to the card. And maybe this number moves inside of that because of how bad the White Sox have been. But as bad as they've been, Jordan Lyles has been somehow, some way worse. In Kansas City, second worst in baseball with a 75 WRC plus as an offense, 24.7% K rate. Want to back Giolito here in this spot. Pretty big of it's just a no-brainer, straightforward. Like White Sox money line. Can't believe I said that because they've been bad. They won't be bad on Tuesday. I'm going to do a live look in here just because I want to see. It was going well earlier. It's 3-0 still. Milwaukee Dodgers, under of 8.5. That was your lock. Hopefully that one can get through for all of us here. Fingers crossed. Either way, we're not going to an under here today. We've got the Dodgers. We've got the Milwaukee Brewers. And there would be no unders in play with Noah Syndergaard. This version of Noah Syndergaard going up against Eric Lauer. Syndergaard basically was out of the rotation, going to be sent to the bullpen. They brought in Garrett Stone. He did not have a great outing. Now it is basically Noah Syndergaard back in action. He's one of the worst in holding runners. Yay for Yelich shares if you have them in year long, because you'll probably steal 48 bags against Noah Syndergaard here in this spot. Willie Adames at the top of this lineup. Lots of pieces. He's just not good at this point in his career. And now no swings and misses whatsoever with a 15.2% K rate, a 4.67 expected ERA. Dodgers know that they can't fix him here at this point. They thought maybe they could extract a little bit of something from him, but his velocity is down nearly 2 miles per hour. 93.6 miles per hour in 2022 on his primary sinker. It's down to 91.9 this season. That is going to make life hell for you. And Eric Lauer, it's not like he's some great pitcher by any means, but the Dodgers have some pretty interesting splits. Against lefties this season, an 84 WRC plus with a 27% K rate. In other words, god awful. That's really bad stuff. And in fact, it's bad enough that when you have Noah Syndergaard on the mound, I don't really care how bad your lefty is. I think you got to take shares of any team that's going to be at minus 102 with the kind of lineup the Brewers do at the top. No, it's nothing special, but you get power from Rowdy Tellez. You get, Terang. Almost did a Duran run back. But Willie Adames, Yelich, I know how bad Mr. Winker's been this entire season. Still, so any lefty against Noah Syndergaard at this point, minus 102 on the money line. You got to be backing down a second straight money line that we're going to be on Go Milwaukee on Tuesday. To Target Field for a matchup we don't see very often. My Minnesota Twins hosting the San Diego Padres. I really like the new rules. Being able to see different matchups, being able to have, I don't know, it's just so weird to me when you have one division like the AL East that's so good, and then they have to play each other and cannibalize the division. That never made a whole lot of sense to me. You should give every team an opportunity. You now have the wild card game, which is a lot of fun, even though that's still like 6 months from now, it feels like. It's going to be a long baseball season. But you know what? I love baseball, so it's going to be okay. It's just, I kind of want to see playoff baseball already. I want to see Dodgers, Padres. I want to see stuff like this, but I don't want to see Michael Wacha on a mound. Well, I do today because I'm a Twins fan, but Michael Wacha, 31.7% hard hit percentage is good, and literally everything else is pretty bad with a 495 expected slugging, 274 expected batting average. You're going to see random games where he spikes. It just seems like when he has a feel for the fastball, there can be times he'll mow down batters. But I don't think it's going to be here, my friends. I think this is a lot of power. Michael Wacha can give up some power. Minnesota, I know that they have just a 96 WRC plus, but they just added a bat back to the fray here for Minnesota in Alex Kirilloff, who I'm in love with. I'm in love with this prospect, and he's going to be mainly a platoon guy. You saw one at bat for him on the 6th against Cleveland, 2 of them with 2 walks there in that ridiculous Cal Quantrill game. But Alex Kirilloff has a 70 out of 70 raw power grade on Fangraphs, and that, my friends, is a great bat to have in addition to Joey Gallo, who we know the power prowess there. Carlos Correa, one of the best hitting shortstops in baseball, even if he hasn't shown it this year. And Byron Buxton, Max Kepler starting to show out a little bit. Minnesota lineup against Wacha, I like it, but I also have no desire to back Louis Varland in any way, shape, or form with a 504 expected slugging. He's had an overzealous beginning to the season with a 29.8% K rate, but a much larger sample at the bigs last year. And he had just a 19.8% K rate. I don't think he's made that many adjustments the 25-year-old has. So you have Fernando Tatis coming to town. Manny Machado, Juan Soto. Juan Soto's probably the easiest guy to get through to a certain extent. I know he's been batting 30. He's had a down year for him, and yet still, he's doing enough to be relevant there for him. And Trent Grisham's had an awesome season for Trent Grisham. Cronenworth. Can I go down the line? Matt Carpenter going to be playing first in this one. I tell you what. No-brainer lock button. Over 9. You're starting to see temps come up across the entire board here. Nothing crazy here in Minnesota, but I feel like we're going to see some temperature spike in the next week. And you're going to want to be early to the over party on a couple of these plays. Not that I need to talk people into betting overs on a daily basis. Seems like that's, I don't have to pull too many strings to make that happen. But even 70, 72 degrees here at first pitch in Minnesota, good enough for me for these offenses and a decent neutral ballpark for hitting. Give me the over of 9, Lock City. You know what's better than 1 lock? 2 locks, my friends. Let's run it back. We've got the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs squaring off in this one. Pretty interesting little pitching matchup that we have before us because, well, one's good and one's bad. And if you told me 2 years ago who I thought was going to be good and bad, I would have thought you were nuts if you told me Taillon was the better side of it. But here we are. Jack Flaherty going up against Jameson Taillon of the Cubbies, and Jack Flaherty, not good money right now. 355 xWOBA, a 14.3% walk rate. He has been getting by on some very, very fortunate strand rates. He is going to get absolutely obliterated sooner rather than later. And I say that knowing full well that he just gave up 10 runs against the Angels last time out. 6.29 ERA. He's just going to continue to have this kind of problems. And the Angels aren't even that good against righties. Now you're heading into Chicago against a very potent Cubs lineup up and down the entire board. Happ, Suzuki, Bellinger out of his mind, one of the best hitters in baseball this season again. Dansby Swanson at shortstop. You get pretty much everybody there in the entire lineup that sets up nicely going up against Jack Flaherty. And Jameson Taillon, again, this St. Louis lineup, I still like them, even though they've been one of the worst teams in baseball here. But Jameson Taillon, a 27% K rate with a 286 xWOBA and just a 36% hard hit percentage. This is really good stuff. And his pitch mix, nothing really jumps out to me. I don't like the 10% barrel rate, that's for sure. But 25% fastball usage, throws in the sinker, cutter along with it. About the same rates on all of those. I just think he's a decent pitcher who's going to keep getting ground balls there in Chicago. Decent defensive unit behind him as well. Friends, I didn't think I was going to be saying this here, but lock button. Chicago Cubs, I do not understand this number in any way, shape, or form, and I'm pretty positive when you hear this tomorrow, it will not be minus 120 on DraftKings Sportsbook like it is right now. Minus 120 over there? That's the best available number, usually minus 124 to minus 130. Everywhere else, I would be shocked if this did not close north of minus 130, considering I have this minus 155. That is my opinion of Jack Flaherty here at the moment. So there you go. Lock button, back-to-back, 2 of them in a row. Enjoy that. Cubs, get it done for us on Tuesday. To Anaheim we go for Houston and Los Angeles. And oh boy, Then some pitchers on the mound. Framber Valdez and his insane ground ball rate going up against Shohei Ohtani. And Ohtani, it's a little bit sad, a little bit disappointing last time. But let's start with Framber with his 2.60 ERA, 4.21 expected ERA. Giving up the hard hit, 47.2% there. But guess what? It's always on the ground, so it almost doesn't matter. His ground ball rate continues to be one of the dumbest things in baseball, 66.1%. That's actually the lowest mark he's had in the last 3 years, and it's one of the top 5 best marks in baseball. Unbelievable stuff from Framber Valdez, inducing ground balls every single time. Just insane stuff. And, well, Ohtani on the other side, well, he's going to be Shohei Ohtani. There's going to be times where things aren't perfect for him. He gave up 4 earned against St. Louis. You know what he did do, though? He missed an insane amount of bats, 13 strikeouts in that outing, still got the W. He's still Shohei Ohtani. And even against this Houston squad that, well, traditionally not going to strike out that much, been a little bit higher this season than years past, 23.8% K rate, and against righties, haven't been that good with an 83 WRC plus. So, ironically, kind of want to be backing both pitchers here and just under 7.5, but that's not a great number. And we know the prowess that the Angels have against left-handed pitching so far this season, going up against Valdez, a 125 WRC plus, a 155 ISO, just a 17% K rate. Tough spot. It's going to be a tough spot for lefties all year long facing this Angels team with a murderer's row of righties and then Shohei from the left side at the top of this lineup. So there you go. Maybe lean towards the Angels side, but as it stands right now, I'm leaning the under of 7.5. Just going to be backing pitchers here in this one. Shohei Ohtani, even against Houston, I think he just mows them down. We're going to Miami, in Arizona. Couldn't even sing the song, that's sad. Jesus Luzardo, somebody I really, really, really like, going up against Brandon Pfaadt. And Brandon Pfaadt had a big fat nothing in his first outing here at the Bigs, and kind of a disappointment considering he was one of the top prospects coming up here for Arizona. I think he'll be all right. I think he's going to get a couple of looks now that they finally parted ways with Madison Bumgarner. That was a way, way overdue situation, but over the course of AA, AAA this season, decent enough numbers, lots of strikeouts, 30 over the course of 25 and a third. I think he's going to be a lot better going forward, and what a great spot to be facing Miami, that's for sure. Then I also like Jesus Luzardo. I do not want to be picking on them in any way, shape, or form. 36.4% hard hit percentage, 25.6% K rate. And yeah, Arizona, they've been a better team. The NL West is a good division outside of Colorado. They could just be sent to the shadow realm. I don't think anybody would have any issues with that. But you neutralize a little bit of Corbin Carroll's effectiveness going left on left. You get a better situation for them overall. It's just one of those spots where I think you want to be backing both of these pitchers. So how do we do that? You take an under of 9. Yes, under of 9. Pretty hefty little number that we're staring at there for sure. Plus, it's even money on the under of 9 currently as I record this. So there you go. DraftKings Sportsbook, fire it up. Under 9, it's a like. Man, such interesting pitching matchups coming down the home stretch. George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners, they're going to be hosting Andrew Heaney and the Texas Rangers. And we talk about Texas's prowess from the right against righties. Well, how about against lefty here? It's interesting. Well, yeah, it is what it is. They're going to be facing a righty in George Kirby this time around, a 120 WRC plus. They can smash. George Kirby, not my favorite guy in the entire universe, but the ballpark, it saves him more times than it doesn't. And for me, this is something where I think the line's actually inflated to account for Heaney's presence, and I don't think it should. The Seattle Mariners this season against lefties have been downright dreadful. A 78 WRC plus. Now, a 155 ISO is all right, but a 26.7% K rate, that is near the top in baseball, 5th highest in baseball against lefties. And Andrew Heaney, that's the one thing this dude can do, no doubt about it. Just a 24.4% K rate, but I expect that to go up throughout the season. And a 32.1% hard hit percentage is drastic improvement there. I think both of them, considering Kirby and Heaney, neutralize hard contact. This should be a decent enough spot to be backing them. Looking at both bullpens too. I think you're going to be getting some good stuff here from Seattle. They have the second best bullpen in baseball with a 3.71 xFIP so far this season. Hey, look at that. Said I was going to intertwine bullpens into the analysis. I'm a man of my word. There you go. Enjoy that. Texas. How about Texas? Texas. waiting for this to load. Second worst in baseball. But that's beside the point because Andrew Heaney's going to have a decent outing, I think, against this putrid Seattle team against lefties. There you go. Another under of 8. I like it here in Seattle ballpark, mainly the top reason why. And let's blow up that theory that Eric always likes the last game of the night because I could not hate this one more. It's Patrick Corbin. You heard me. Patrick Corbin and his .313 expected batting average and terrible batted ball profiles and everything going on the mound against Logan Webb and a .302 xWOBA, 27% K rate, 3.9% walk rate. But you know what? This is another one of those spots where I just got to say, a lot of strikeouts that are available for lefties going up against the Giants. A 29.6% K rate and just an 81 WRC plus. Again, that K rate is the second highest in baseball. And Patrick Corbin, it's not like he's going to be missing a lot of bats with a 16% K rate, but that gives you enough, what's the word? Feels better for you being Patrick Corbin going into a ballpark like San Francisco, knowing it's a worse lineup and a phenomenal ballpark to pitch in than it does anywhere else, like pitching in humidity in Washington, where it'll start giving up 7-8 runs a day. So it is a dumb suggestion. This is just the best available play, and it has more to do with the numbers than anything. Look at the numbers. Just look at them with me on the side of the screen. I think I'm pointing at the right spot. Minus 230 Giants here. I don't think the Giants should be minus 230 against any lefty, even as bad as Patrick Corbin is. So friends, plus 1.5 for Washington is getting plus money. Grossly, that's the best bet on the board right now, but don't do it. It's the Washington Nationals. They're terrible themselves. Logan Webb, he's a decent enough pitcher here at his home ballpark, gets enough Ks. We should not be screwing with this game. Just call it a night. Just call it a night. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on this 15-game every team in play slate that we have before us on Tuesday. Check out Bet365. Thank you to producer Jacob. Yet again, phenomenal stuff here. Really enjoyed talking through this slate. Lots of great spots. As always, check out the premium Discord. I will be in there uploading my betting card every single Monday through Friday. Actually, Sunday through Friday because I love you so much. That's the way we do things. And use promo code Lindy. You'll get 50% off your first week to try that out. So do that. It's great stuff. Alrighty, y'all. Until Wednesday, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Tuesday.